It's time to let go. Let's start the show now. It's time to let... Hey guys, welcome to the Damian Blue Show. So, I've seen the screener for season 2, episode 5 of The Boys. Don't know why I'm doing that hand thing. Anyways, I'm going to tell you guys about it. But before I do, I promise you no spoilers. Okay, honestly, maybe a few small spoilers, but you'll be all right. Honestly, some people have said these first few episodes of season 2 of The Boys were really scary. And other people have said they're boring. Really boring. After seeing episode 5, what I can say is that hot damn with the crazy. Let's kick things off with talking about Stormfront. Stormfront gets on everyone's nerves in episode 5, especially Homelander, and it's very interesting and entertaining. Earlier in the season, it was easy to like how Stormfront didn't take crap from anyone. She wasn't afraid of anyone. She even stood up to Homelander. But then we learned that she's a racist and a killer. Great. That's appealing. Also, all I'm going to say is she will probably make some viewers very uncomfortable in this episode. Sadly, she represents people like this in our world today, and we know that they are out there. Sometimes I think Stormfront just exists to make Homelander look good by comparison. It's like, sure, Homelander's a jerkwad, but at least he's not killing people while being racist like this chick is. One last thing about Stormfront, this episode makes you root for someone that you probably didn't expect to root for just because of how they're confronted by Stormfront throughout the episode. So watch out for that if you can, because you'll pick up on it. So we talked about Homelander earlier, and say what you will about him, but he knows what he's about, and he's in for the penny, in for the pound as far as his attitude. And there's a scene in this episode where you can see what happens if he does ever come undone. And after seeing it, you're like, well, that escalated quickly. In episode 5, Homelander is having a very tough time dealing with certain social and political things going on around him. And it feels like he might explode at any minute. Seriously. And you go, oh my gosh. He gets help in this episode from a very unlikely person, Stormfront. So even though they're bumping heads a lot in the episode, she has offered to help him. And we get to see what that looks like. I can honestly say Homelander just keeps getting scarier as the episode goes on. Homelander makes a very important decision in this episode, and it's really quick. It's like from one scene to literally the next scene. It's real abrupt. He didn't linger on the decision he made. He just made it. He definitely reminds me of the kid from Brightburn if that kid was all grown up. Although true to form, Homelander is a huge drama queen, and I know it's par for the course with his character, but in episode 5, it really works. It definitely feels like this episode is setting us up for something big to come. Tension is getting really hyped up. We get to see them shoot a bit of the feature film. It's called Girls Get It Done. The 7 have been having a bit of restructuring, and the film is being used to show that. Dynamics are tested between the editing of the film for the movie, like between the cutting of it. Say what you will about the 7 being in a movie about themselves, but it's better than the time the Ninja Turtles were in a successful rock band.
But pizza power, a flying saucer food delight. Pizza power, oh, that's what makes us feel alright.
Or at least tried to be in one. Oh man, that's horrible. Don't show me that. Throughout the episode, there's one person you can't help but worry about, and that's Starlight. She's always getting messed up with Stormfront, and she's also just in very dangerous situations. She always feels like she has to hide. As for the Deep, he is in deep, no pun intended. Okay, pun intended. With his cult, the Church of the Collective, there is some light at the end of the tunnel, some hope. He now has a pathway to get into the 7, and there's some very bizarre moments overall. Moving on, Billy Butcher is in way over his head in this episode, but he can't do it alone. It's great to watch Huey stand up to him, and then, sadly, he backs away pretty quick. Damn. MM comes in to help, but it was still great to see Huey growing as a character. Even if it was a small bit of character development for Huey, it was still really cool to see that. And he definitely becomes a character that you can you can see his arc taking shape. To talk more about Butcher, who knew he was such a badass? Okay, people knew. But in this episode, he holds his own. And he's kind of like Superman. Okay, not that Superman. I'm talking about Black Suit Superman. Not the Nick Cage Superman. There we go. That Black Suit Superman. And it's just really cool to watch. Like, you are definitely rooting for him being a badass. And if Billy Butcher is Superman in this episode, then Black Noir is Batman. Because there's these scenes where you see Black Noir in these poses, and they just look really reminiscent of poses that you've seen Batman do in comic books throughout the years. And it's just really cool to see him come to life and be active in the story. And it's like, you know, he's there and you see him, and man, I'm just a fan of his design. It looks awesome. We also get to see more of what Stan the Man was up to in this episode. Okay, not that Stan the Man, but this Stan. And it's like you can see his plan taking shape, and you see the lengths he's willing to go to, and it's real. There's just a lot of tension there, and it's really cool. One more thing too about Stan is that he's not afraid to go up against Homelander, and you see that front and center in episode 5. The last scene from the episode is straight from the comics, so if you've seen the comics, you'll see this scene coming, and it will blow your mind, I promise. If you thought the other episodes in this season were kind of a slow burn, this episode really picks up the pace. So this show is kind of like a soap opera with superheroes, and I mean, who can't relate to that? Seriously. I mean, I know the premise is kind of out there, but the emotions aren't. This is a show overall about some deeply toxic and negative relationships, and how some of the major characters might be able to grow out of them if they truly want to. And the thing about superheroes and supervillains, movies like to show you that the supervillains are villains for a reason, but they also like to punish the villain. Most Hollywood movies love to reinforce this idea that there are angels and demons, so to speak, good and evil, and that the evil must be punished and taken care of. Which that thinking, it kind of puts characters in these boxes, and I think the show The Boys really understands that, and it goes against type in that way, and that's one of the reasons I love it so much. The thing is, we all have the ability to be superheroes or supervillains in our own life stories. Maybe we aren't racist killers, Stormfront, but being selfish, manipulative, jealous, angry, possessive, insecure, those are some of the traits that make some of the characters who they are in this show. And they are very real human traits. Yes, the characters have incredible abilities in this show, and they have really awesome costumes, but at the end of the day, they're humans and they're flawed. And that's what makes them scary and incredible to watch, for better and for worse. So that's my review, guys. Thank you for watching so much. I just did some video about Fight Club, and it kind of talks about these same kind of themes. So if you're into this sort of thing, check it out. You can probably click on it somewhere in here at the end of this video. Thank you for watching, and see you next time, guys. Bye.